Let's make history. Eastchester in the Bronx was originally part of the town of Eastchester. There's a town named Eastchester not far away in Westchester County, right outside of New York City. And the neighborhood of Eastchester in the Bronx, as well as Mount Vernon, all used to be part of that town of Eastchester. Eastchester is a working class community, but they do have a large housing project, one of the largest in the Bronx, low-income housing project, and that's the infamous Eden Wall. It was founded in 1664, and it was originally part of a huge patch of land owned by Thomas Pell, who Pelham Bay Park coincidentally is named after. Hutchinson River and Hutchinson River Parkway is named after Anne Hutchinson. She was a devout, religious, Orthodox Protestant English woman, and her and her husband were enchanted and inspired by a local preacher named John Cotton. John Cotton ended up relocating to America in the New England area. Mind you, this is in the 1600s. And not long after, Anne Hutchinson and her husband and their 11 children also relocated. So Anne was a highly charismatic woman. When she got there, she started doing sermon reviews at her home for women. It's funny how today people make a YouTube video and then film reviews, play reviews, mixtape reviews, post it up to YouTube. Back then, they physically met and discussed these things rather than leave a comment on a YouTube video. And it became so popular that eventually she was requested to do some for men, where even the governor was in attendance. She was so serious about her teachings that she became harshly critical of the Puritan leadership. She was brought to trial, convicted, and exiled. Relocated to Rhode Island briefly, then to New Netherland, Dutch territory, in an area that will become the Bronx, the part which would become Eastchester, where the New England Thruway is now. There's an ancient landmark there called Split Rock, a huge rock that was split in half during an ice age long ago. So that was her section where she built her home, and she had great relations with the Native Americans in the New England area. So it didn't bother her the fact that there was actually a war going on between Native Americans and the Dutch during that period. She wasn't alarmed, but she miscalculated the situation and didn't understand just how serious this feud had become. One day, surprisingly, a band of Native Americans slaughtered her and her whole family. One of her daughters tried to hide in between the split in the rock, and she was caught and beheaded. Luckily, one of her daughters, Susanna, did survive, and she was taken hostage. She actually ended up living with that Native American tribe, that same tribe, for years. Eventually, she was brought back to the New England area.